Hey everybody, this is Melanie with Crafting Chaos with Melanie. I'm super excited today because today is the kickoff to our first series of videos, and in these videos we are going to be making a pumpkin mini album. So I'm going to show you the things that I'm going to be using today, and I'm going to keep it simple today. We're going to go kind of slow with this in the beginning because I want you to be able to do what I'm doing, and I also really want to encourage you that if you are watching this and you're like, I love cards and that's all I do, or I've never made a mini album before, I want to make this to where you can watch this video and you feel like you can make the album. So that's what we're going to do. So I told you the other day in my introductory video that we were going to be using a lot of paper that I have in my stash, and I chose to use the Farmstead Harvest. This is the first paper pad that we are going to completely kill. I've already made one of these pumpkin mini albums out of this paper pad, and I've already got the one we're doing today started, and I still have several sheets of paper left, so I'm excited to see what all we can get out of this paper pad. Now this one is Die Cuts with a View, and I did get this at Joann's last year. This is 2020. I did go online, and unfortunately I did not see this at Joann's. You might could find this online. I didn't look any further than Joann's because that's where I got it, but you don't have to use this paper pad. Just find you some fall paper wherever it is. Maybe you have some in your stash, maybe you want to run to Michael's, maybe you want to get online and find you some. Whatever you find that you like, just do something that you like. So we are using, like I said, the Farmstead Harvest. Okay, I also bought some chipboard. Now I got this chipboard, and unfortunately I threw away the packaging, and I'm sorry about that, but I got this chipboard at Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry. And this is really thin. Guys, I wouldn't even call this chipboard. This is just really thin, almost like cereal box material. I got this because the paper that I'm using, it is cardstock, but it's not super thick cardstock. So I want to give this album a little bit of stability with the pages in between the front cover and the back cover. And in order to do that, I decided to use this chipboard. Now, this chipboard is not expensive. 25 sheets, I think there's 25 sheets here, was $9.99, and I got it 50% off. It's Paper Studio and Hobby Lobby. I think every other week, every 2 weeks, I believe they do it. They run Paper Studio 50% off. So it's a perfect time to get this. If you don't want to buy it, guys, this is cereal box material. Now you would need, depending on the size of your pumpkin, the one that I'm using, it would have to be one of the extra large cereal boxes, like the super large Frosted Flakes, I think would work. Or maybe you just want to use cardstock in between it. You could do that. Or if you're comfortable with not using anything between it, then don't. It's up to you. This is your album. You can do what you want. So I personally like to use this, and it's really easy to cut. So that is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using the Dollar Tree pumpkin. So let's see here. You need 2 of these. So I got this one at the Dollar Tree. So I got one for the front and the back cover. So you're going to be needing that. Okay. All right. You're going to be needing your favorite glue. Now, glue. I am using Fabri-Tac for 2 reasons. One, it goes on easier than the art glitter glue and the Barely Art glue, which I love these 2 glues. Do not get me wrong. The Barely Art, and I don't have my art glitter glue out. I love these. However, when I'm doing an album and I'm doing a large space, a large paper here, I like to have the Fabri-Tac. Now, this is from By Beacon. Hobby Lobby sells it. Michael sells it. Amazon sells it. The good thing about Hobby Lobby, well, Hobby Lobby doesn't do it anymore, but the good thing about Michael's is you get a coupon. And I think the smallest coupon they do now is 20%. So you can use a coupon on this. And at Michael's you get rewards. So you can use your rewards for this, and that's usually what I do. You can use ATG gun. You could use double stick tape, whatever it is you want to do. I like using the liquid glue because it gives you more time to maneuver it around. Whenever you're paper piecing, you know, the odds of you getting it on there perfect the first time are slim to none unless you're just very talented. I am not one of those people. So I like using the Fabri-Tac. So we're going to be using that today. Favorite pair of scissors. I got a big pair and the smaller pair. I also have a bone folder or something that you can just press your paper down with. You know, you want to give an even press to get all that glue and get it all glued down. So I have my bone folder for that. I also have Distressed Oxide Ink Vintage Photo. You could use anything that you like if you would like to do this. I like to distress the edges because this is a handmade album and we're paper piecing and it's not going to be perfect. It's not. If you're tracing this, other than using a die cutting machine, it's very hard to get it perfect, okay? So we're going to be using this to distress the edges of it, and then you need a pencil, okay? All right, so let's get started. I did jump start a little bit, so I do have a few pages done. So let's put this to the side. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. All right, so this is your front cover. This is going to be your front cover. And I wrote on it, guys. I wrote front. I knew that I wanted this pumpkin to go in this direction and I wanted this to be my front, the front of the album. And on the piece that was the back, I wrote on the back. Now this is being covered. You can write on it all you want. And something else I thought of, if you didn't want to cover this with paper, you could paint this. You could totally use a brown, an orange, you know, just the colors of the season and paint this, whatever you want to do. We are going to paper piece it. Okay, so what I did is I picked out the paper that I wanted and I trimmed, or I traced it on the paper and I trimmed it out. That's all we're going to do. Now I did the covers already, okay? We're going to do some of the pages today. I have the covers all ready to go. We're going to glue those on. Okay, so what I did on the chipboard, like I said, I wouldn't call this chipboard. I would just call this another piece of cardstock. You could use cardstock, you could use this, you could use a large cereal box, whatever it is you want to do. Now, you do have to pay attention to the direction of your paper, okay? So if you have paper that has print on it or certain elements, you want to pay attention to that. So this is the paper that we're going to use. You can do this two different ways. I'm going to do it the easy way. All right, this is 12 by 12. Now this template that I got from our covers. So what I did is I took the covers, I put it on the paper and I traced it out and cut it out, and I got all my pages ready, okay? Except for these. We're going to do these on screen. So what you want to do, make sure I'm in screen here, is you want to trace the pumpkin, okay? Now this is flimsy. Like I said, this isn't very thick, so I'm going to make sure I hold it down. And I have my pencil and I'm making sure my pencil's sharp, and I'm just going to trace this out. Now I'm doing this on the side, the front that I want. All we're going to do is erase those pencil marks and use Distress Oxide on it, and you will never know there was a pencil that used this. You just want to make sure you get a good line with that pencil so you can trace this out or cut this out. All right. All right. All right, there we go. Now I messed up. I got a little bit out right there, but that's okay. Just erase it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out real quick. This isn't hard. Like I said, you just really need to pay attention to your pencil line. And on this, I get right up to the line. I don't go inside the line because you're covering the cardstock or the chipboard. And you want to make sure that you have enough to cover it. Now, if you have too much, you can trim it off. It's a lot easier to take off. All right, so we're just going to trim this out. I will tell you, I did not get these perfect. There's some of these pages, they're off a little bit, and I just distressed it a little bit more, and you could not tell it unless you're really looking for it. And you know, this is handmade. It's not going to be perfect. You know, nothing handmade is perfect. That's why it's handmade, right? All right. Do not throw this paper away that you're using, because obviously we're going to be using some of this throughout the album. We'll be making some tags and some pockets. So the plan today is to cover the album and show you this incredibly easy, I guess you would call it binding. I don't know if you would call it binding or not. We're going to put the album together. Very simple. Simple's the word. All right, so we got this cut out. All right. All right, so we have this cut out. When I do, this little piece we won't do anything with. I cut it out and kind of make it a square. And this sheet we're going to use, and the other little remnants here, those will definitely go in the trash. Okay, so we have that ready to go on that side. So now we're going to be doing this side. So on this side, I'm using this. Wait a minute, I think I just messed up. I did. Shoot. See, I'm not perfect. I had already traced this, and I traced it the wrong direction. But you know what? We're going to go with it. And then this one we will just use the green and not use the leaf. So all is good. Okay, that's the great thing about mirror imaging. If you have double-sided paper and you mess up, all you do is flip it over. It's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, so I traced this out. You probably can't see it, but I just traced the pumpkin out. Now, if you're watching this and you have a Cricut, guys, by all means, use that Cricut or that silhouette. Find you a pumpkin on it. You know, like I said, this one's close to 12 inches. As you can tell, this is a pretty big pumpkin. So I would say this is probably about almost 12 wide and probably about 10 inches long with the stem. So you could get on there and just cut you out a bunch of pumpkins and line this sucker right up. I didn't want to use the Cricut today because I want everybody to be able to make this. I don't want you to feel like if you don't, you know, if you don't have the Cricut or whatever other, you know, die machine you have out there, electric cutter, that you can't make it, because you can make it. You 100% can make this. All right. Okay, so we have this cut out. All right. So you do this as many times as you want. I will tell you, we're doing 8 pages in this book. This book is going to be an 8-page book. You can do as many, or you can do as less. Maybe, you know, this is, you're a beginner and you only want to do 4 pages, or you know, maybe you want to do 10 pages. It's up to you. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these down. All right. So this is the first one that I got, and I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to go over it. Now this one I cut too big, so this comes out pretty good. Now notice I'm not getting all the way to the edge because this is liquidy, and when I burnish it down really good, it's going to spread out. Now I'll tell you, you can see the lines in this. You see how that's making lines? This is why I don't like art glitter glue unless it's a super thick paper or it's a double embellishment and it's going to be covered up, because with the art glitter glue it doesn't burnish out good. Like, you can actually feel and see the lines, and guys, that drives me crazy. You know, if it doesn't you, great, but it does me. All right, so I have my pumpkin covered, okay? And this is where I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to put, now be careful because it will move. This is wet glue, so keep it lined up as much as you can. And we are going to glue this, press this down really good. Okay. Remember, we want this to last. All right, you're going to see something. All right, see, this is Fabri-Tac, and I got too much glue. I have glue right here, and I do not have a paper towel. So I am just going to swipe that up. I ruin every mat I have, guys, because of this. I tell you, what a mess. And I'm just going to rub this off right here to the side on some paper, some scrap paper. All right, so now, before you glue your second piece on, remember I said this is a handmade. You're making this handmade and you're tracing it. Guys, it's not going to be perfect. It's just not. You can see there's some places that I'm off a little bit. So I'm going to just get my small scissors and I'm just going to trim what I see that I can trim off. And really, I didn't do that bad on this one. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. It must be because I'm on screen. You guys brought me good luck. All right, this is a little off. Okay, all right. All right, we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. Not bad. Now, this is where I messed up. I originally wanted this on here. This is what I wanted. Unfortunately, I traced it out wrong. So this is double-sided paper, right? So all you gotta do is flip it. And this came from the same paper pad. So it's not gonna matter. It's just not. It's not gonna matter if it's messed up or not traced out completely right. Now, by lining this up, I can tell you I'm off. I'm off on this one more, all right? So at the top here, you see this right here, it's not perfect, but we're doing something with this. We're doing something with this. So you're not even gonna see this. This is okay. So I'm not even worried about it, okay? So I'm gonna get my glue. I'm gonna try to go a little bit less heavy-handed on this time. All right. I would not recommend Elmer's glue on this. Make sure it's a good archival glue, something, you know, and it's going to last. Elmer's glue is not going to last you. A glue stick, guys, it's not going to last. There's certain things you use a glue stick for. This is not one of them, okay? So don't use any glue sticks on this. All right, so we're going to glue this down. Again, we're going to try to get this lined up. I'm having trouble with my mic. Give me just a second. Okay, we're going to get this lined up here. Now this one, this cut, I'm off quite a bit on this one. But you know what? That's okay. That is okay. So we're going to maneuver. I don't know what I did on that. Okay. Well, this is what we got. This is a good example. All right. All right, let's see. Do I have a look? Nope, I don't. Okay, so we're going to glue this down. Remember, we're going to press this out. This is just how you get a good stick. You get a good stick. Now I want to show you something. Man, I need some wet ones over here. Okay. All right. Okay, I want you to see this. I want you to see this. You see this right here? You see how I messed that up? All right. Over here, it's a little off. Guys, we're gonna come right in here with our scissors and we're just gonna snip that. We're gonna snip it away. That's all we're gonna do. I promise you, when we get finished with this album, you're never gonna know that we did this. Up here, you can just come in with your scissors, just change that a little bit, come in, and if you want to trim it, you can trim it. Like I said, I think we're going to do something here, you're not even going to see it. All right, so look, we have it. It's done. Look at that. All right. Oh, isn't that pretty? All right, now this is where the magic comes in. Remember I said to get you some ink. I'm using brown. Guys, you could use any color that goes with this. You could use an orange, you could use a green. The only thing that I recommend is that whatever ink that you decide to use, stay with it throughout the album. You want it cohesive. So we're going to stay with this color on the edges throughout the entire album. And when you start distressing, we are going to distress everything. So I always do the photo mats, any kind of mats that we put on there, any kind of paper piecing we put on there. To bring it together, we're going to be distressing it. So Distress Oxide, this is Vintage Photo. So I'm just going to ink up my, and guys, see how easy this is? This is all we're doing, is distressing these edges. And what this does, it hides your imperfections. It makes the paper pop, which I love. It adds dimension. I love distress. When it comes to scrapbooking, I do it a lot. This is another place that we could foil on too. That would be cool. We'll do that another time. All right, we're going to flip it over because you got to do both sides. Remember, this is the side that isn't perfect. This is definitely the side that's not perfect. That's okay. All right. I'll tell you something else we're going to do. I have several different pumpkins. I bought several of these little wooden pumpkins. So when we're done with this, we are going to make a table photo frame with one of these. So that's coming up as well. I'm excited about that. And remember, guys, comment in the video. I will be giving away this album. When we're done with this album at the end of this series, I'm going to give it a week. I'll give you the exact date on the last video, and we are going to draw a winner of the album. Okay, so now we can put that to the side. That's done, and now we have to glue on the front real quick because I didn't do the front. Show you again how to glue it. So this is what I'm using on the front. I like to use not an extremely busy print on the front. That way we can decorate it. You can bring in different prints. You can bring in flowers, leaves, whatever you want. So if you keep the front kind of neutral, it will make it pop more, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Oh, look at the back side of that, how pretty. The words, oh, love it. All right, let's see here. Let's get this glue going. Oh, I love this glue. I would have never used this glue. I would have never picked this glue up if it wasn't for Genevieve at Genevieve Designs. I do a lot of album making with her on her channel, following her tutorials. They're fantastic, by the way. And she uses Fabri-Tac, and genius, just genius. Okay, all right, so let's get this, and we are going to glue this on. That's a pretty good. Now, you just want to wiggle it, jiggle it, flip it over. Now we have some pieces hanging on this one. So when it's that big, definitely want to just come in here with your scissors and trim it up, or you could use an X-Acto blade. I do have my X-Acto blade over here too. You can use that. Scissors. Here we go. All right, I think I'm gonna get my X-Acto blade here. So whatever you're comfortable with. Just go in, lightly press. I've learned that you just do light pressure, more passes on an X-Acto blade, and it does so much better. And whenever you're doing little areas like this, it's probably easier to get in with your X-Acto blade than it is a scissor. So I'm just kind of feeling and going. See, just flip that off. Now again, I'm taking the time to do this top part, but we're doing something with this top part. So this stem, for what I have planned, you won't even see it. You won't even see the stem, but we're still going to get it up there. I haven't 100% decided yet on that, so, but I think that's what we're going to do. All right. Okay, it's pretty good. Another thing people can do is sand. You'll see a lot of people sand around and get those, really, those edges. Look, now see, I didn't get glue there. Very good. Guys, I started to put that in my mouth. Not good. Now, when you're doing the edges like this, you don't need a lot. Don't put a lot on there because it's going to go everywhere. All right. Put the lid on that. Flip this thing over. I do have some right here. Okay. Okay, not bad. Okay, now we're going to glue this on. This is the back side of the cover. Look at the back side of that. It was so hard to choose. That's the only thing about using double-sided paper is you have all this pretty paper. And that's what I love about paper packs, that when you have double-sided, they give you 2 sheets. Most of the time, that's actually a deal breaker with me. If they don't have 2 sheets, a lot of times I won't buy it, especially if it's a really pretty paper pack. I mean, how can you choose, right? So if you get duplicates, you don't have to choose, right? Okay, so we're going to put this on here. All right, let me put this up here. Make sure you get, wow, that lined up pretty good. And we're going to press this. I can't wait to see what some of y'all create on this. I do have a Facebook page, and it will be linked in the description of my YouTube channel. It's Melanie's Cards and Creations right now. I have put in a request with Facebook to have it changed, and it's so funny. They're very weird about that, so they haven't given me permission to change that yet, so we will see. All right, I got off a little bit right here. You know, do you see that right there? You know, when we're done, you won't even notice. I love that. All right, so now you can really see the front here. I definitely need to do some trimming. So I'm just going to get the scissors and do this real quick. All right. All right, we're going to go less pressure, more passes. Okay, that is not wanting to come out of there. It's hard. I'm trying to do it to where you can see it, and I'm having trouble seeing it. I'm learning the art of video making. It's, you know, it's hard. You know, learning which angle you need to be at and all this. I'll get it, I promise. Again, I'm at my kitchen table. I'm at my very big dining room table, I should say. My desk is still covered. I have all my fall stuff out, y'all, and it's everywhere. My desk is covered in fall sequins, and I have all my fall stamp sets out, laid out, figuring out what one I want to use. I found some good ones. Listen, I have been doing this for years. I have been stamping, I would say at least 15 years. I've probably been stamping longer than that, y'all. And I have a lot of stamps, and often I will sell them. If I see that they're sitting there, I'm not using them, or it's not something I will use, I'll donate them to Goodwill, or see if my friend Sherry wants them, or sell them. You know, I do different things with them. But now my fall stamps, I don't, guys. I can't wait to show y'all in the next video. I have got some stamps, I bet you they are 15 years old, and they're fall. They're my fall stamp sets. So I love fall. I love everything about fall. And I live in Florida, and trust me, I don't have a fall. I have to make my own fall. Okay, we have got our pages done. And like I said, we are doing the front and back cover in this video. And I'm going to have 4 pages. So you're going to have 8 pages. So now we're going to line up all this, okay? We're going to see how we want this. So this is my back cover. This is my front cover, okay? All right, I went with neutral colors. So I'm going to get my front cover, just set this back cover to the side, and I'm going to flip it over, okay? We're building it now. So what do I want as the second page? Let's see what we got here. All right, so this is the cover, right? I think my second page, I'm going to go with this. So you got it. You just have to figure out the alignment. So there's your first page, your second page. This is your third page. This is going to be my fourth page. Fifth page. Wait a minute. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go this way, and this way. All right, so we have our book built. All right, so before we start punching anything, this is where you want to make sure you have it lined up the way you want it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Some people, especially when they have side by side, you like the pages to match. You want the pages to match. Okay. They're going to match in this album, but they're not going to match exactly. So they're going to complement each other. So when you open this album up, these are the two pages here, and I like this, and we're going to keep this, all right? Then we're going to go to page, so this is page 1 and page 2, page 3 and page 4, page 5 and page 6. See, they look really good together. Page 7 and page 8. You see how they complement each other? I love this, and you won't have any issues complementing the other page because all the pages in the collection you're using are designed to go together. So if you get a paper pad, those pages are designed to go together. So that makes it so easy to do. All right. So now we're going to do the super easy binding. All right, the binding. So we are going to need a hole punch. I am so sorry about that, and guys. I thought I brought my hole punch in here, and I am not seeing it. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Wow. All right, guys, give me just a minute. I found it. Okay, so we are going to be using the 2-inch clips, right? I told you the Dollar Tree does have these. The Dollar Tree has these, but they have the smaller ones. I did not see this size at the Dollar Tree. I got these at Office Max. I'm sure Walmart has them, and I like these because these are bigger. I think these are 2-inch. Well, they're right at 2 inches. They're 1.75 inches, so I don't know what they would say on that. But you're going to have more room to move your album around. If you use the smaller ones, your album's not going to open and shut like it needs to. You need that space for it to maneuver around. You'll see what I'm talking about. So you're going to be needing 2 clips. That's all we're going to be using for this project. And a hole punch. Now, I have the We Are Memory Keepers crocodile. I don't even know what you call that, crocodile. This is old. This is so old. I'm ashamed of it to even have it in a video. And then I did get the We Are Memory Keepers, and this one's really cool, guys. This one has different settings, so you can do 5/16, 1/4, 3/16, and it gives you the different holes that you can use. So how we're going to do this is you're going to take your cover. This is important, all right? You're going to take your cover, and you're going to figure out where do you want your holes. All right, so we're going to try something. I haven't used this one. We're going to try this one really quick and just see. 3/16 or 1/4. We're going to do 3/16. All right. I don't know if this is going to work. No, it's not. This one doesn't work, so forget that one. This one does. This is the one that does. This is your crocodile. I know that you can get these at Joann's. I think Michael's now has them, Amazon. I will find what I can and I will link it below, but this is, I've had this one for years, if that tells you anything. I'm going to use the bigger one. I think this is the 1/4 inch, and I don't see where it says, but we're going to use the 1/4 inch. All right, so whenever you're doing it, you want to make sure you have your album facing the way you want it. So my album orientation is this way. I want my album to open to my left, okay? So we're going to take this and I'm going to make 2 holes. And guys, just get it, don't put it right on the edge. You don't want it on the edge. You want it in a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to come up where it looks good. Try to, you know, get it pretty level. And you're going to hole punch that. All right. Now, where this is older and that's thicker paper, you are going to have to clean this out, or I do, so forgive me for that. Okay, now this is where the fun starts. This is where you got to pay attention. All right, so you're going to take your front cover, you're going to put it, line it up with the second page, right? And you're just going to mark it, all right, with a pencil. Okay, and then we're going to go and we're going to make sure we have the right hole. So we're using the bigger one. I'm sure this is probably a 1/4 inch. And you're just going to go over your pencil marks and you are going to make holes. And you're going to repeat this process, guys, through your entire album. You're going to get your second page. You're going to make sure that you have it lined up the way you want it in the book. You're going to use the first page and you're just going to draw your holes. Okay, flip it over. Like I said, I don't even know. You're just going to line up with those pencil marks. Okay, just get it in the hole. All right, put that there. You're going to take this, do the same thing. You're going to line it up. And we're going to just all right, and then we're going to do this page. This is your back cover. Gosh, this is, guys, this is so simple. This is the easiest binding you will do, other than the paper bag album we're going to do. So, all right, so you put it in there. This one's the chipboard, so this is the thick chipboard, what I'd actually call chipboard or mortar board. I don't know what you'd call this. All right, and in we go. All right. Okay, we got them all lined up. They're all lined up. Now, I'm going to show you how we're going to bind it. But when we work on the pages, we actually take this off. So, but I'm just going to show you how easy this is. All right, so you just want to open your clip, right? And you're just going to feed this in. Right? You're going to feed it in. You get the top in. The bottom should go in pretty easy. All right, so we got the top in. Look at that, how easy. Now let's just take the bottom. Guys, this is just going to line right up. Look at that. So you got the first pages, and there's the last page. Look at that. Look, there you go. All right. Now, I will tell you, these hang off. But as this album grows, this album's going to grow because we're putting stuff in it. So you're going to use some of these binder clips. You're going to use, I think they're called book binders. I don't know what they're called. And then we're going to use ribbon to cover them up. But the reason I was saying to use the bigger ones is because you want your album to flow. Right? You want it to be able to move and to be able to look at, because you want people to look at this, right? So that's why we're using these clips. All right, guys, that is all we're doing today. Tomorrow, we're going to start decorating this. And I'm so excited about decorating this. We will probably decorate at least half of this tomorrow, and I think tomorrow we will do the waterfall. I really want to teach you techniques in each video that you can look at and incorporate in other albums, and I want you to be able to learn how to do it and make it simple. The waterfall, it can be way over thought out. We are going to do a simple formula for the waterfall, and I guarantee you'll be able to do it, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to take your time making your pages. This is the most important part. This is your base. So get your pumpkins, trace them out, take time tracing them out, take time cutting it out, put on your favorite YouTube channel or your favorite crime show. In my case, it's what I love. And just, you know, set, trace, pick out, and put your album together like we just did, okay? Join me here tomorrow and we will start decorating this album, okay? I am so excited. Now, I will tell you to decorate. Grab you some stamps, look at your ink pads, and get inks that match your papers, okay? All right, we will see you tomorrow. I'm so excited for part 2. Until then, I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.